everybody, this is Taz. Nana Rocks the World. This is my debut YouTube channel, and the reason I am on this channel is to talk to you about things that I have personally gone through, or things that I feel are taboo or uncomfortable conversations. I will not holds barred anything on this fucking channel, but please do me a favor. Do not call names, lash out, or bully, because if you do, I will just delete your ass. Thanks. The first topic today is mental health. The reason I'm talking about this topic is because I live it, breathe it, eat it, and sleep it. One thing I need to tell you is how our government is saying, oh, well, we're doing great strides with mental health, especially in the last 10-15 years. Bull fucking shit. I don't want to hear no more fuck around bullshit from you. Let me tell you this, and let me tell you why. I had a doctor who was a GP who I dealt with for 3 years. We understood each other, and he gave me the medications that I need. Yes, he wanted me to see a psychiatrist first. I saw him for about a month to help him agree with the diagnosis. First off, I suffer from manic depressive. Yes, I call it manic depressive. For one thing, when I am up, I am up. I mean, I am up for 3 or 4 days. When I'm depressed, there's no getting me out of bed. There's nothing that can help me. Plus, I also suffer from PTSD and anxiety social disorder. More into that later. The reason I am saying that the government is fucking you over is because 2 weeks ago I got a new doctor because my other doctor quit, who also is a GP, who decided that I didn't need these medications anymore. Well, let me tell you, if I don't have my medications, I go to a mental health facility, and I'm not talking a 5150, I'm talking a 5250. For all of you with mental health disorders, you know what that means. It's not fun. You're there for a week. They try to figure out what's wrong with you. They poke, they prod you. They make you feel like a hamster in a cage. They put you on different medications to see what works, what doesn't. At one point in time, I was on 36 different medications. Here's the list just to give you an idea. Depakote. Hold on, I went blank. I am so sorry. Lithium. Let's see. I totally went blank. I should have written these down. I do apologize. Depakote, lithium, Xanax, which I am on right now, which actually helps me. Prozac. You name it, any commercial you've seen, I have been on it. I am not kidding you. Like I said, at one point in time, I was taking 36 drugs because they didn't know what was wrong with me. First off, they thought it was a mood disorder, so they put me on mood elevators. If you can think of all the names of those, I've been on them. They didn't help for shit. That wasn't my problem. My mood was not my problem. My manic depressive and my PTSD and my social anxiety was my problem. So, needless to say, this new GP that I am seeing now has decided to send me to a psychiatrist. Well, that's all hunky-dory, and that's great for me because guess what? I can go to a psychiatrist because I have Medi-Cal. Unlike most people, which I might add, 90% of the United States of American people who live on the street suffer from mental illness. It's not being a drug addict. It's not being because you've lost your job, you've lost your home, you don't care, you like living out there. That's all fuck around bullshit. Alright? The problem is, they don't have Medi-Cal, they don't have Medicare, they don't have Medicaid. They have no one who gives a shit about them, who will help them. So next time you walk by somebody who's all dirty, filthy, sitting on the street corner, or sitting in front of your local Walgreens, Don't just walk past them. Look them straight in the eye and wonder, how can I help you? They don't choose to be there. Their government puts them there. Secondly, so I do not like therapists. And this is why I'm going to tell you why. I have been to many therapists. Okay? And all they want to do is hash up and bring up the old bullshit. Which they say, talking makes you feel better. For me, hell no. Talking for me brings up all those old feelings, all those old images, all that old past bullshit that I'm trying to outgrow, which my medication helps me do. You send me to a therapist, I'm going to tell you what, I walk out of there wishing I had a fifth of JD, a 12-pack of Coors Light, and 5 Xanax, just to make my ass feel better. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with therapists if you really need them and you can handle it. But for me, hell no, I can't. So, my point is, 1, the government is fucking lying to you. They do not have more of a handle on this mental illness, and they do not have better situations to cover it. 2, they need to teach their general practitioners what mental illness is, because 9 times out of 10, that's where most people go because they can't afford a psychiatrist to diagnose them and to give them their meds. Okay? So, I'm going to give you a little preview of my past so you know that I'm legit and I'm not just talking out my ass. When I was 5 to 12 years old, I was molested. Okay? I was molested by a close family member, and I was molested by neighborhood men who thought that when I turned 12 or 13 that I was looking hot, you know, pedophiles, pieces of shit people. Also, that's where my PTSD comes. That's where my depression comes. That's where my manic comes from. And like most people, when you don't have the concept of what's going on with you, I self-medicated. In my hometown, which is Oakdale, California, people know me as the wild child redhead who is psychotic, doesn't take anybody's shit and go off in an instant. Which I was totally fabulous with. Because I didn't want them to know my past. I didn't want them to know what I had been through. So when I was manic, I'd go drink. I could sit at a bar, drink a fifth of JD, Coors Backs like they were nothing, and walk out of that bar straight. I'm not saying I didn't get in trouble sometimes, or get in fights, because I did. When I was depressed, yes, I used methamphetamine. And when the methamphetamine got too much, I went back to the bar to lower the high of the methamphetamine. Because when you're depressed, methamphetamine to me was my normal. It made me feel better, it made me feel up. It made me feel not so locked into that dark space. And when my manic hit, I needed something to calm me down, to ground me, to get me back to where I was. So this new GP, taking away all my medication, I told him, do not do that to me. You have no idea how scary it is for me. I do not want to end up in a mental health facility because I will. I know I will. And I do not want to self-medicate because I have done that too many times and that is so scary. Also, just so you know a little bit about me, some more. I call myself Taz because the people in my hometown, Oakdale, California, shout out, woohoo, used to call me Taz because I was so crazy, wild, and out of control. Which happens to be from what I explained to you before. Rocks is because I loved Metallica before Metallica was cool. Nana is because I have 7 grandchildren. So Taz, Nana Rocks, there you go, there it is. If you have Taz, Nana Rocks the World. The world part is because I do taboo topics and conversations nobody wants to have. Because I don't care. What else have I got to lose? Nothing. I mean, you know, think about it. If more people would speak out and more people would act on what they feel inside instead of saying, oh, that is so wrong. Oh, that is so terrible. Don't fucking give me talk. Give me fucking action. Do something about it. Don't sit there and play in your little bubble and let the world go by and say, oh, this has nothing to do with me. Bullshit. It has everything to do with you. Did you know people are born with mental illness? It's hereditary. It's not just something you acquire and it doesn't rub off on you. And no, we're not all psychotic people that are going to go crazy and hurt you or do something stupid or go off with a Molotov cocktail or an M80 and blow up your home and shit like that. If you actually do your research, 9 times out of 10, mental health people are not the ones who do that. Not even close. Because they feel so down about themselves, they don't know what to do, they're hopeless, and they just want to reach out, and they don't even know how to reach out. 10 times out of 10, they'll just look at you with those eyes. You know what I'm talking about. They just look up at you with those eyes like, God, I wish you could help me. And that's all they want is some help. And I totally wish that I could win the lottery and get a huge amount of money, because then I would fucking actually do something about the mental health issue. Because like I said, I live it, I breathe it, I eat it, I sleep with it. It's there every day. I take medications for it. And on that note, what pisses me off the most is where doctors decide that, well, Ativan, Valium, and Xanax are controlled substances and you get addicted to them. Well, no shit, you fucking moron. If you have the wrong people getting them. But let me tell you something else. You know what's worse? Methamphetamine, crack cocaine, heroin. Okay? Those are worse. So don't give me this fuck around bullshit that these other drugs, which are prescribed, by the way, through the FDA, are meant for and used for people like me. We need them. It helps us. It helps us be our normal, which I love. If it wasn't for these medications and what's going on in my life right now, I wouldn't have started this YouTube channel at all. I'm going to tell you a scary story, okay? The first time I was ever put into mental health. It was 2003. I had just found out that one of my daughters was molested by her father. Now, coming from a small town, Oakdale, California, I actually knew all the police officers. I called the sheriff's department because it happened in a neighboring town. Then I called the OPD. Well, By the time they got to my door, my gun was cocked and loaded, and I was ready to head outside the front door to find the son of a bitch who had done this. So, when the cops all, and I'm not shitting you, all came to my house, walked inside my living room, I knew all of them except for one newbie who was a woman, and she had enough balls to raise her pistol out of her holster and point it at me. When one